For our last webcast, for the September webcast series, we're going to talk a little bit about change, because Lord knows there's a lot of change going on in the next 3 years at the very least. And there is a process, as we all know, regarding change. And so we're going to look at the phases of change and what happens in these different phases and what you need to have complex change be successful. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint. Okay, first of all, as we know, the old tip of the iceberg, there's a lot that is unexposed. And when you look at schools, as we mentioned earlier in the data-driven piece, there's a lot to school culture beyond what appears at the surface, and that's where the data comes in. Dennis Sparks says significant changes in schools begin, I believe, with significant changes in what leaders think, say, and do. And the fact that the captain of the ship can clearly see the port is of no use if the crew continues to paddle in a different direction. And for those of you at the lead evaluator training, you recall the video of the ship and the lighthouse. So let's take a look at the change process. Vision, skills, incentive, resources, and an action plan leads to change. It's that simple. 5 key ingredients and you have change. What happens, though, if those ingredients are missing? If you lack vision, if there isn't a course or a vision of that course, then you're going to have confusion. You'll have mayhem. You're going to have a mutiny on your hands at some point. If people lack the skills to carry forth the change, whether it be data-driven instruction, APPR, Common Core state standards, if people do not have the skills and knowledge, they will be anxious. They will be stressed. Stress is fear of the unknown. People need skills to be successful. Incentive is important. If you lack incentive, you will have resistance. What's in it for me? Why do I need to do this? If you lack the resources, if you don't have the time, if you don't have the opportunities for professional development, you will have frustration. People know how to do it, they want to do it, they have the skills to do it, and yet the resources aren't there. And then, of course, last but not least, if you do not have an action plan, you will have a treadmill. You will be running around in circles without realizing all that needs to be realized. So when we speak about change, it's a simple process, but of course it's extremely complicated. Vision, skills, incentive, resources, and action plan together build effective change. And Ted Sizer says you have to change quickly enough so that gravity cannot drag you back. So I'm going to show you next a set of comics, and I'm showing these comics because they're going to paint a picture which is also extremely important in change, and we will speak about that after we watch these comics. This is it, Lucy. We made it all the way to the end of the world, which validates my hypothesis. Woohoo! What hypothesis? That the Earth is flat. What about all the evidence that refutes your preconceived conclusion? I just dismiss it as rhetoric by evildoers who want to embolden the enemy. But if you just look over there, you can see for yourself that this isn't the edge of the Earth. It's just a gully. So as long as I don't look, my convictions hold true. I always wondered how cults and political movements get started. The trick is to be on the ground floor. Now accepting all your worldly goods, no questions asked by you. We all have mental models. And what that set of cartoons illustrates is that we need to open our minds and we need to open our hearts and our will to make the important change that's coming. we have the capacity in this region, we have the skills and the knowledge, and where there's a will, there's a way, as long as we're mindful of the fact that there are mental models we all hold, and we have to be cognizant of those, and to get outside those mental models to bring forth the important change, which ultimately what we're looking for is student achievement, school reform. And yes, there are a lot of things weighing on us, but again, I believe, and I know Courtney feels the same way, that we have the capacity to change. And with that, we're going to close. Courtney, do you have any final words that you want to add?
I don't. I would just encourage them, if they have questions or need support along the way, to contact us.
All right. Visit our website, join our LinkedIn group, and certainly contact us. And we'll close with the illustration that we've been showing at all our trainings, and we will continue to show, which is basically that through Race to the Top, we have a leveraged opportunity to bring forth positive change, which will certainly help our children. Thanks, and have a great day.